everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Africa Today. Today we'll be discussing the partnership between Egypt and the African countries in return of or concerning the healthcare system, and also the pivotal role of Egypt across the African continent for bolstering and enhancing the healthcare system. That was actually concerning Egypt's pivotal role in enhancing the healthcare cooperation with the continent and the African countries, and from bolstering also local medical manufacturing to fostering digital healthcare platforms. This is what we'll be discussing first in our today's episode. As speaking at the Regional Steering Committee's closing session, the Minister of Healthcare and Population, Dr. Khalid Abdel, has stressed that the future of healthcare in Africa must be shaped according to the needs of its people and according to also within the continent itself, and to be built on its priorities and responding to the need of its people. Let's watch this report.
Minister of Health and Population Khalid Abdel stressed on Tuesday that the future of health in Africa must be shaped from within the continent itself. He welcomed the support of international partners, but insisted that any success must be driven by African priorities and reflect the real needs of its people to ensure ownership and sustainable development. His remarks were made during a speech at the closing session of the Regional Steering Committee, where he expressed pride in Egypt's role as host of the forum and renewed the country's full commitment to supporting its recommendations and turning them into real progress that benefits public health across the continent. Mr. Abdel noted that the meetings saw valuable discussions and the exchange of ideas on health investment in Africa, resulting in a deeper understanding of regional needs and defining clear steps for the way forward. He explained that the agreement was reached on three main strategic priorities forming the pillars of Africa's future health roadmap. The first priority is to boost domestic health financing, as achieving universal health coverage requires placing health at the core of national policies. This includes mobilizing local resources, developing fair health insurance systems, and creating funding tools that guarantee justice and sustainability. The second priority focuses on encouraging local manufacturing of medicine and medical supplies within Africa. This step is seen as essential to improving access to health care, supporting local economies, and building self-sufficiency to handle health emergencies. The third priority is the digital transformation of the health sector through investment in digital infrastructure such as electronic records, surveillance platforms, and integrated systems. In closing, the minister called for stronger regional coordination through technical and steering committees, stressing their importance in supporting political and technical leadership. He urged for more institutional backing to maximize their effectiveness, calling for a cooperative work towards a stronger, healthier, and more united Africa.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And to shed more light about the medical partnership between Egypt and the African continent, we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Professor El-Sayed Abdel Hadi, President of Horace University and former Dean of the Mansoura Faculty of Medicine. Professor Sayed Abdel Hadi, it's a great pleasure having you with us.
Good afternoon. It's indeed a very good exhibition and a very good conference.
Yeah.
And it's very well represented by African delegates. So this is perhaps one of the hugest exhibitions. Mostly 4 big halls are full with the old medical supplies, including instruments, including ultrasound machines, and so on. And regarding the conference as well, which is very well prepared, today the real first day. First day it was yesterday was just an official opening, but today most of the general assemblies and general meetings were represented. So we had discussions about the African CDC, or Center for Disease Control and Pandemic Expectation Prevention. We have discussions, lengthy sessions about the role of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies in the field of medical field and medical applications. And also we have seen the GEHAR, or the General Authority for Quality Assurance sessions for the Health Authority for the Egyptian Cancer Society and African Cancer Societies. So really it's a very good opportunity, not only for the Egyptians and the Arabs, but also for the whole African continent. I would say the meeting is the first of its kind. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's very well organized. It takes 6 months or so. It's covering all disciplines of medicine, whether it is medical fields or surgical fields or specialized fields. It's going to start principally from tomorrow. It's covering all general societies within Africa. And the best thing is getting together between Egyptian scientists and physicians and African physicians as well.
Yeah. Professor Al-Said, of course, out of Egypt's commitment to the African continent, Egypt has established many years ago many manufacturers for pharmaceutical manufacturers, and the private sector companies had working long time ago in the African market. When we talk in particular concerning the cooperation in the healthcare system, and also in terms of this important committee or conference, can you just give us your assessment for the Egyptians' pivotal role in the African continent in the healthcare system?
Absolutely. Indeed, Egypt has a lot to offer to the African colleagues and fellows. Egypt is very well established and very well advanced in this field, and we have a commitment to upgrade healthcare systems and also to upgrade the resources for the establishment of very robust and strong healthcare. Everybody knows that Egypt is lagging behind on the international arena in this field. Egypt is much better situation, but in this conference and meetings we just share our experiences. But I would say Egypt is trying to push forward the whole pillars necessary for health education, for health practice, for supply of the vaccination. You know, 99% of vaccines in Africa are imported, and 95% of all instruments in Africa are imported from abroad. So I think with this collaboration, Egypt can do a very good role for the Africans, and also training in the medical field. We used to have a large number of trainees from Africa. I think I've seen them today asking for more. So again, building relationships and cooperation with all African countries, especially the sub-Saharan ones, I think it is duty for Egypt to do better and to offer more. And I would say Egypt in this field is capable of adding more development in the field for all African nations.
Yes, sir. Dr. Khalid Abdel also stressed and highlighted that the future of healthcare in Africa must be shaped from and within the continent itself, both in its own priorities and responding to the needs of its people. Can you just elaborate us this?
Yeah, this is a very good say from Professor Khalid Abdel indeed. Yeah, we would not wait for somebody to come from Europe or America to help the Africans. This is not going to happen. It never happens, and it will never happen. So it is the role of the Africans to help themselves. And there is almost always an opportunity of collaboration and our mutual benefit. There are countries who are really good at the same level as the Egyptian healthcare system, I would say, in South Africa, some parts of Nigeria as well. But as a generalization, we still have a long road to go through, starting from the healthcare, starting from the training, the availability of the resources, and the unified, I would call, generalized health insurance system. Egypt has started on our path, but our experience in this field is quite good. Egypt is trying to manufacture medicines to Africa, to manufacture vaccines for Africa, and also to train staff. What is very valuable is these people are eager to know more about know-how. Egypt now, I think, know-how, and we can transmit honestly and safely this information to our fellow Africans to make a benefit for everybody.
Yeah, Professor, out of the Egypt's commitment also to enhance the healthcare system within or across the African continent, Egypt is also keen on always to maintain the training courses, exchange scholarships between the African and Egyptian students. We are providing all the needed courses and upgrading courses and studies for the African students and the students in the field of medicine. Have you also analyzed this?
Absolutely. This is a very important topic because the human resources is the most important.
Yep.
In addition to, of course, the resources coming or the economic and financial support, but the main issue or the main topic that Egypt can play a significant role is training of the Africans. You may know that there is an African Bank or the Development Bank of Africa which sponsors visits and training courses in most of the Egyptian universities. I'm from Mansoura, and we used to have for the Urology and Nephrology Center many convoys coming from all African nations having a training. We also have longer term, and these are just courses for a week or so, longer courses for 2 years or 3 years in fellowship. So I would suggest that all Egyptian universities have the pledge and commitment to offer fellowships and grants for all Africans, and this will be our ambassadors. Whenever you go to South Sudan, sorry, our neighbors in Ethiopia even, and you meet somebody who came to Egypt, believe me, the image and the feeling is totally different. Yeah. Many years back when I was in the medical school, maybe 40 years ago, we used to have South Sudanese students. You may know now most of the government members in South Sudan are graduates from the Egyptian university. We also, although the relations with Ethiopia is a bit strained because of the dam, but in health and in training, we still have Ethiopian colleagues and who are trained in Egypt. So it's all on all fronts, the economic support playing a role with the soft power and having African colleagues in medicine and surgery who can be trained and will be ambassadors for us for Africa. So we must work hard on this.
Yes, sir. As a participant as well in the regional steering committee's closing session, how you monitor the keenness of the African partners, medics and medical students to collaborate with the Egyptian partners within this field?
That's a very good point. I would say there's not a single African country and over the 50 countries in this continent who are not keen to cooperate with Egypt. I thank our administration, the president and the cabinet, that our relations with all African countries is going extremely well. This is one what is called, if there is a political will, there is a way. I think our government and our administration, by the top of the president till the youngest member of the cabinet, are very keen to give hand to our Egyptian counterparts. This is the political will. Number two is the know-how, as I mentioned before. We need to train and increase the number of grants for the African countries. And these will be successful physicians, they will be ministers, sometimes they come as the presidents of these countries. So Egypt has a lot to give, and the African countries, I think, I haven't seen any African who is not happy to be in Egypt. I've met today hundreds of them, and at least more than 51 of the African. Every station is represented by many Africans, and everyone who just comes to the podium, he say, I thank Egypt for hosting this meeting, and I look forward to cooperate with you. So it is really done very well.
Well, it's always promising, really, cooperating and collaborating with our African partners in all various fields and domains. Professor Said Abdel Hadi, President of Howard University and former Dean of the Mansoura Faculty of Medicine, many thanks for being with us and for your insights. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move into another topic in Africa, and we move into Uganda, where the President Yoweri Museveni in power since 1986, and now he's set to seek a 7th term in the final election due in early 2026. Let's watch.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni will seek re-election for a 7th term in polls due early next year, according to a senior official from the ruling party. Museveni was widely expected to run again, but this is the first confirmation from the National Resistance Movement Party. The country will hold general elections in January 2026, in which voters will choose both the president and lawmakers. Museveni, 80 years old, has held power in Uganda since 1986. He is the 4th longest ruling leader in Africa after Tedros Obiang from Equatorial Guinea. Under his tenure, the NRM has changed the 1995 constitution twice to allow him to extend his rule. The 2005 amendment removed presidential terms limit, and in 2017 the Ugandan parliament voted to withdraw age eligibility requirements. According to Tanga Odu, the chairman of the NRM's electoral body, Museveni is expected to formalize his bid for his party's nomination on Saturday. Odi announced at a press conference that the president will pick up nomination forms for 2 positions, party chairperson and, if granted the opportunity, presidential flag bearer. Museveni's biggest opponent in the 2026 polls should be Bobby Wine. The singer-turned-politician came second in the 2021 elections but claimed the results were fraudulent. Wine has already said he intends to run again next year. Museveni claims his long rule is due to lasting popular support.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. We're still ahead on RTV International and in our today's episode of Africa Today. And now we're moving on to another and last tour in Africa, moving into the South Africa, as the authorities there trying to contain a new crisis as the outbreak of the foot and mouth disease. They are trying to contain it through a nationwide vaccination campaign. Let's watch, unfortunately. And of course, this affects the meat and beef industry over there, and of course, the health of the citizens over there.
South Africa has launched a nationwide livestock vaccination program to curb a growing outbreak of foot and mouth disease, which has hit one of the country's largest beef producers and disrupted the meat industry. Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen said that it is the first time they will be vaccinating at a feedlot level to get foot and mouth disease under control. The beef industry is exceptionally important to South Africa, both for consumers and economically. Karan beef accounts for around 30% of the sector. The outbreak has forced a halt in operations, triggering price shocks. The highly contagious disease, which affects cloven-hoofed animals is not usually fatal, but causes fever, blisters, and reduced productivity in affected animals. The chief veterinarian said the state's swift action is focused on reducing the disease's spread and lifting strict movement restrictions. He said that the reason why the state is intervening and vaccinating is to try and bring the viral load down and contain the disease. He added that currently the farm is under quarantine, explaining that nothing can move in or out. Even animals ready for slaughter are stuck. Authorities hope the vaccination campaign will stabilize the livestock sector and restore trade flows as producers and vets race to prevent further economic fallout.
A serious disruption across the meat industry in South Africa. And by this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our today's edition of Africa Today. Always, for more news and update, join us at NileInternational.net. Nile TV International is your gateway to the world. Many thanks for watching, and from myself, Hanan Al-Houi.